Hello amateurs, welcome to episode 106 of the Amateur Rugby Podcast, here to help soothe your Sunday morning hangover with some awesome rugby chat about the grassroots of the game. I'm your host Tim, and I don't have a guest for you today. It's just me, because this is a special episode where I'm going to announce the route for the Great Rugby Run 2023. Now, those of you who've been paying attention on social media might have already guessed where it's going to be, but stick around to the end because there's a surprise for the final chapter. The Great Rugby Run is something I created. It's a run from rugby club to rugby club across a rugby heartland. In 2021, I ran from Land's End to London, visited over 100 clubs and running over 500 miles in 5 weeks. In 2022, I went to Scotland and visited over 70 clubs when running 500 miles in just 25 days. So then it came to 2023 and I wanted to try and figure out where to go. I reached out to you guys on social media and you came up with some incredible suggestions. And for those that have been following along, it'll come as no surprise to know that this year's venue, the Great Rugby Run 2023, is going to be held in Wales. But hang on whilst I'll tell you about the route, because there's a spicy sting in the tail. So why Wales? You don't need to tell me how much the Welsh love their rugby. It's like a religion there. So to run from rugby club to rugby club across the south of Wales is just going to be incredible. Another reason is I'm half Welsh. My mum is from the valleys. I'm very proud of it. She is too. And her dad, my grandfather, who I never got to meet, sadly, he died well before I was born, lived his whole life there and played rugby in the valleys too. So it's going to be almost like a walk through some of my personal family history. And I can't wait to visit the region and see some of the pitches that he would have played on. And lastly, it is beautiful. South Wales is some of the most amazing country. So let's talk about the route. Going to start in West Wales, as far west as you can possibly go. St David's in wonderful Pembrokeshire. And I'm going to run through all of beautiful West Wales to Llanelli, to Swansea and McGower Peninsula, before heading to Neath, Port Talbot and Bridgend, then up into the valleys and down into Cardiff and Newport. And I'm not going to stop there. It's onwards into the Forest of Dean, to Lydney, Berry Hill, Sidderford, on to Gloucester, before finishing in the place where I was born and I spent the first 22 years of my life, and that is Cheltenham. I don't know how long the route's going to be yet. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it's going to happen in August of this year, and it's going to be more details coming up very soon. And I'm delighted to be able to say that once more I'll be running in aid of the My Name's Doddy Foundation, the incredible MND charity that was set up by Doddy Weir. Last year he was still with us while I was running. Sadly, he's now gone, but his legacy will live on, and I can't wait to get out there and hopefully raise the profile even more and some more funds for the MND community, which has just got so much momentum behind it at the moment. I just want to carry that on. And of course we'll be running through Gloucester, home of Ed Slater, who's another high-profile case of MND, and we'll be doing all we can for the For Ed campaign as well. And lastly, finishing in Cheltenham, and the first Great Rugby Run back in 2001. I put a pin in it halfway through so I could go to the celebration of a former teammate's life of mine, Mike Crisp, who sadly battled MND manfully for a long time, but it took him in the end. And so we'll hopefully be raising some funds for the Freddie Crisp Trust as well. So if you want to help, if you want to be a part of it, there's some very simple things you can do right now, and that's go and follow on all the social media channels. On Twitter, it's at Rugby Run. On Instagram and Facebook, it's at The Great Rugby Run. And in the coming weeks, you'll be able to find out absolutely everything at thegreatrugbrun.org. And I'd love for you to come along and get involved. Come and run with me for a mile a day or even longer. Be like Kyle down in St Just Rugby Club in Land's End, or Rory from Mar up in Scotland. And I'm also looking for places to stay. Can you put me up for a night? Or, I only need a couch or something just to rest my head after a long day's running. Any help with that would be hugely appreciated. Meeting the people is the best thing about the Great Rugby Run, and there's no better way to do that than being hosted. So if you can do that for me, I'd be really grateful. And I have a big bag that I bring with me that carries everything that I need. Obviously I can't run with that. So if you're able to transport that bag from one place to the next, then that's a massive help. And as I said, the Great Rugby Run's all about the people, the rugby people in the rugby clubs. So I want to visit as many clubs as I can along the way There are so many in Wales, and I'm going to try and get to as many as I can, certainly over 100 if possible. So if you're at one of those clubs or you know somebody that is, let them know that the Great Rugger Run is coming this August 2023, and we'll see you there. People can get in contact via all the social media things that I said earlier, all of which will be linked down below, or on email hello@thegreatruggerrun.org. So there we have it, the Great Rugger Run 2023 is going to be held in Wales and Gloucestershire, from West Wales to the West Country, from the land of my grandfather to the place I was born. It's going to be another epic journey, and I'd love it if you come along with me. So I'll see you down the road on the Great Rugger Run. And until next week, get out and play.